Hello. In this video we're going to learn how to pay the liabilities that are associated with our payroll. Let's start by looking at the Adobe PDF that we saved when we created paychecks for our employees. We're looking at an employee pay stub. It gives us the check number, the pay period, the date the check was printed, the employee name, so this one is Nikolai Digger, and then it gives us some information of what we inputted for the check. She worked 36 hours, regular hours. She had 4 sick hours, her rate of pay, and then it gives us what the gross pay amount is, $560. But if you look at the bottom, you'll see that her net pay was actually $376.62. So she didn't actually receive everything that she had earned according to the hours that she had worked. What happened was QuickBooks is set up to automatically deduct all of the deductions that have to be made for our employees. So employees have to pay Canada Pension, they have to pay into the Employment Insurance Fund, and they have to pay federal income tax. In this case, it looks like Nikolai opts into the Registered Retirement Savings Plan that the company offers, so $25 came off for that as well. So the company makes all these deductions. They don't make the deductions to keep that money, but they hold those deductions in accounts for each of those different things that were deducted, and then at regular intervals they have to make those payments to the appropriate agencies. So in this case they would have to make a payment to Canada Pension Plan, to Employment Insurance, to federal income tax. So that money will eventually go to the proper agencies, and that happens on regular intervals where the company will then pay the liabilities associated with the payroll. And that's what we're looking at in this exercise, is paying those liabilities. So from our home screen we're going to click on the bottom left the button that says Payroll Center, and then at the Payroll Center, which we've seen before when we created our paychecks, we're going to click on the Pay Liabilities button. So then what we need to do is we need to tell QuickBooks the liabilities or the pay period that we want to pay the liabilities for. So in this case we've created a payroll, so we have some liabilities to pay from the 10th, from the October the 20th of 2012 through to October the 27th of 2012. So we're going to pay the liabilities for that period. When we click OK, you'll see now that we have a list of those liabilities that we have sitting in accounts and that are ready to pay. Those amounts are due to the agencies that we have to pay. So let's have a look at that for a second. You'll see that there's 2 entries for medical deductions, right? There's the portion that the employee pays, $12.50, and you'll see for medical the company pays the same amount. So the employee pays half, the company pays half. Same with Canada Pension, equal shares, half and half. But the EI deduction is a little different. The employee portion is a little less than the employer portion. And so those are rates that the government provides us, and when we set up our employees in our payroll system, we put all of that information in. That information is, it differs from province to province, so that's why it's important that when we set up our files, our data files and our company record, that we choose all of the appropriate responses during that interview so that all of the appropriate deductions take place when we are creating our payroll. So we go through and we put check marks beside the items that we want to pay, and then we want to make sure that we're not going to print it, so we deselect the to be printed. That's for our training purposes. You probably would in your company. We do want to review it before we actually create it, so we're going to click on Review Liability Check, and then make sure that the from and through dates are selected. It's coming out of our bank checking account, so you want to make sure that you choose the right bank account, and then you click on Review. You're going to get the warning that the date might be wrong. That's because of our training purposes. And so then you can you can go through and actually see the checks that are being cut. So Minister of Finance and the total amount that's been deducted for that pay period. There's a breakdown at the bottom. So then the Receiver General receives Canada Pension Plan, Employment Insurance, and Federal Income Tax. And it's all broken down for our records as well. So we can order checks. It's just like our checkbook, right? Only in this case it's paying our liabilities. So we can do all of the things from this form that we do when we're just regularly writing checks. We can then click Save and Close, and then we are back to our Payroll Center, and we can go back to Payroll Liabilities. We can put those dates back in, and that was October 20th, 2012. Through to October 27th of 2012. Click OK, and then what we see is that the amounts due are now all zeros because we have paid those liabilities. So those checks are ready to be printed, sitting in our checkbook. And so that's all you need to know on how to pay the liabilities that are associated to a payroll file.